Dry January? I don't think so. But I am open to cutting calories. I'm J.M. Hirsch, and today we are going to make lower calorie cocktails that don't sacrifice flavor. So the key to making great lower calorie cocktails that still taste great is to understand where the calories come from. Liquor itself actually isn't all that bad. Most liquors for a 1.5 ounce pour have about 100 calories. We get into trouble when we start adding all those sugary flavorings to them, and that's when the calories rack up. So today we're going to make 2 cocktails that get lots of flavor without adding lots of calories. The first is a coconut margarita. So this is a shaken cocktail. So we're going to grab our cocktail shaker. One of them. I have a couple dozen in here. There we go. All right. We're going to grab our cocktail shaker, and we are going to start with 2 ounces of tequila blanco. All right. So there's our 2 ounces. Perfect. To that, we're going to add 2 ounces of coconut water. Now, I love coconut water because it has almost no calories. This entire container here only has about 60 calories. And yet it has a light, bright, coconutty flavor, and it kind of elevates the drink. It has kind of some great nuance to it, again, without adding sugar. To that, we're going to add 1 ounce of lime juice and just about 1/4 ounce of either agave syrup or simple syrup. Not a ton, just enough to kind of round out the sweetness of it all. And to that, we are going to, and here is the key, we're going to add 6 to 10 granules of kosher salt. Now, I know we think of salt as something we put on the rim of a margarita, but that's actually the worst thing we can do because that blows out your taste buds and you don't appreciate anything that's actually in the glass. Instead, we like to use salt in the cocktail itself because just like in our food, in our cocktails, salt elevates, heightens, and brightens all the other flavors. And when you're cutting back on sugar, that's all the more important. So that is our cocktail. We're going to add some ice to it and give it a good shake. Not going to take long. And we're feeling fancy, so we're going to put it in a cocktail glass today. And there we go. That is our coconut margarita. We can garnish it with a lime round. And cheers to a happy, healthy cocktail. I love that the flavors aren't bogged down by sweetness. There's a gentle sweetness to it, but you get the brightness of the lime and the sweetness of the coconut without being masked by syrupy sugar. Okay, so that was our first cocktail. Our second one is a smoked old fashioned. We're going to take a classic old fashioned and we're going to flavor it with cinnamon smoke. Now, the thing you need to know about smoking a cocktail is that the interior of the glass needs to be wet. This is because smoke adheres to a wet surface better than to a dry surface. So all I'm doing is adding a little bit of water, and spilling it, by the way, to my glass, swirling it around to coat, and dumping it out. My glass is ready. Now we're going to make our smoke. Now, I am using a cinnamon stick, but you could use bay leaf, you could use cardamom pods, you could use dried citrus peel, anything, frankly, that will burn. So I'm holding it over a candle. You could also hold it over the burner of a stove. You could use a little culinary blowtorch. The point is to set it on fire just enough so that it's burning, and then you're going to snuff it out by overturning the glass over it. You're going to want to have a flame-proof surface to do this on. I'm just using, frankly, a lunchbox turned upside down, but you could use a skillet or a metal tray or even a double layer of foil. You want to set it on fire because what we're going to do is overturn the glass on it, and that's going to snuff out the flame and fill the glass with smoke. That smoke is going to coat the interior of the glass, and then every time we take a sip of that cocktail, we're going to taste warm cinnamon. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. There we go. And there we go. So we're going to set that aside while we make our cocktail. Oh my God, that smells so good. It's like cookies baking in the oven. So normally we build an old-fashioned directly in the glass. We don't have that luxury today because our glass is otherwise occupied. So instead, we're going to do it in a stirring glass. I'm using bourbon, but you can also use rye, and I'm going to use 3 ounces because I like a hefty pour. So 2 plus 1, whoops, 1.5. That's okay too. That makes 3.5. There we go. Now, to that, I'm going to add just again the barest hint of sugar, which is about 1/4 ounce of agave or simple syrup, just enough to round out the other flavors. Now, I'm going to add cocktail bitters. This is a great way to add flavor to a cocktail without adding calories. And of course, we can get cocktail bitters in any number of flavors. I'm using orange because I like the combination of orange and cinnamon, but you could use chocolate, you could use Angostura, you could use spicy bitters. There's a million flavors of bitters that you could use. Experiment, go with what you like. That's our cocktail. We're going to add some ice to it. And we're going to give it a good stir. I don't stir it for long, and I don't add much ice because I don't like my old-fashioned particularly diluted. A little bit of dilution is good, though, because liquors have a lot of water-soluble flavor compounds that we want to bring those out. That's perfect. Now, you don't want to overturn your glass until you're ready to serve it because you're going to release a puff of smoke, and you want to appreciate all of that. So we overturn it, and we pour our old-fashioned into it. Perfect. Cheers. Oh my God. Again, I feel like I'm eating banana bread and snickerdoodle cookies, but with bourbon. Oh, that's fantastic. So cheers to a leaner, meaner New Year.